Good morning, everyone. Suzanne Taylor King here for another live episode of Unlock Your Way with STK. And I might be just fangirling a little bit right now because this is one of my favorite content creators, founder of Linked Agency and AI content creator, ghostwriter extraordinaire, masterful Charlie Hills. Welcome to this conversation.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Suzanne. I've never had someone speak so highly of me, but it's really great to be here. And yeah, I'm excited to
Yeah.
dive in.
Well, one of the coolest things ever when I found you on LinkedIn and I became a stalker, sorry, I was intrigued by this masterful ability you have of writing content that transitions into a desire to have whatever you're talking about, whether it's DMing you or commenting. And it's really done so not only classy, it's done super well, and it's done without that spammy kind of comment, and we'll get into a AI bot conversation about buying a $10,000 program. So incredible.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. How did this AI journey start for you?
Oh, yeah, I love that question. Well, I mean, for me, it started obviously, when ChatGPT launched, but prior to that, I actually wrote my dissertation at university on the impact of AI in customer loyalty. And this was like the year before ChatGPT. So lo and behold, after I'd written it, AI just suddenly blew up overnight. And, I was kind of like, working full time, using it in my day job. And eventually, like, it got to the point I was like, I need somewhere to share all of this kind of passion and expertise. So that's why I took to LinkedIn. And that was from January 2024 onwards. I was using AI every single day to help me create my content whilst also working full time because it wasn't part of my day job. I'd be there on the weekends, like evenings, just like batch creating all my content, commenting on people's posts. And like 9 months into that journey of posting to LinkedIn about AI, I quit my 9 to 5. And literally at this point, it's been just over a year since that happened. So
all of those followers that you have is just in a year?
Yeah, like it's been over, from 30K to 160 odd K in the last year.
Wow. Wow. So one, I'm thinking I was lucky to have you agree to this because of how popular you are. But this is such a great message for my listeners, entrepreneurs, content creators looking to have that bigger impact on social media. And you weren't going for likes and follows. You were going for an outlet to share what you were learning and your knowledge, which that's a really cool message.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why I started. I didn't really have
Mhm.
like any grand ambitions. It was just simply to post and to share what I knew with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're both fans of Substack.
Mhm.
So I'm going to make sure to get on some of your writing there. But now, as far as AI goes, being a content creator, how did how do you deal with the skepticism about AI and writing content?
Oh goodness. Yeah, I mean, obviously there is a lot of skepticism out there, but for me personally, I'd always really disliked copywriting personally.
Mhm.
So for me, I was just like, obviously, I'm going to use AI to write my posts and help with content ideation,
Mhm.
design briefs, but I do get an odd few comments of people being like, "Wait, this is AI. Like, why would you use it?"
Yeah.
And I'm not actually 100% sure like how to deal with those people sometimes because that's their opinion and they're entitled to it.
Right.
But I just simply, like we have to kind of adjust to this new norm because it is the future, and it's not going anywhere. So obviously, if you can write without AI, great, good for you. But for people like me, it's been a massive help, and I wouldn't be here today without it.
Yeah. I feel the same. I do a really good job with my AI images as well, and I have an incredible team member who is doing beautiful things with images and AI.
Mm, mm.
And somebody commented recently on a post of mine that said, "How's this AI generated content working for you?"
Yeah.
And it wasn't an AI generated post, and I thought, wow, that's actually a compliment that he
Mm,
thinks I wrote that story and, with AI, because I often use my own stories, with AI's help, and it's made me such a better writer. I never claimed to be a great writer in the first place. So
me
it
too.
really made me a better writer.
100%.
Do you have a favorite tool for writing content?
Yeah, I talk about it a lot on my LinkedIn, but it's Stanley from the guys
Mhm.
at Stan Store. I
Yes.
absolutely love that tool.
Yeah.
Before, I was using a custom GPT and ChatGPT, and that
Mhm.
was fine. But with this tool, it's next level. It like scrapes all of my LinkedIn posts.
Yeah.
Firstly, I don't know how they managed to get that from the LinkedIn team.
Mhm.
But basically, literally because I post so much on LinkedIn, it has such a massive catalog of my stories, my stats,
Yes.
all my expertise I've shared online. And literally 9 times out of 10, it will write me the perfect post with only a few minor edits. Obviously, I'm
Mhm.
still sprinkling in my unique seasoning into it. But yeah, prior to that, I'd spend way too long with ChatGPT and like kind of follow up and really fine tune it. Whereas this is
Mhm.
like chef's kiss. I love it.
I am obsessed, actually, and I
Oh,
found
you use
out
it?
I do, and I found
Ooh.
out about it because I had a client who was setting up his stand store, and there's a little link there that said, "Try Stanley AI," and I was like, "What's that? Let's check that out." And instantly analyzing my LinkedIn content,
Hmm.
and I'm obsessed with the emails every week. So getting that reflection back to me, what works, what my audience actually engages with more. I've learned so much about my content from it. And out of all the AI tools I have, it might be the most expensive one. I don't even care because it at 97 a month, I believe, 97 or
Hmm.
99, it's the most valuable information, and I've tested out some of the posts it's created for me on Facebook as well, and the engagement went through the roof. So,
Oh, wow.
it's platform transferable. And something super fun I tried, when it gives me an idea for a post, I add to the prompt and say, "Insert the story about when I did this, this, and this."
Mm.
Mwah! So good. So good.
I
So,
love it so much. Yeah,
you
you
know
can use it for so many different ways. Like it's not
yes.
just a post writer. I also use it to like optimize my profile this week.
Mhm,
Asking what's killing conversion rates as an
mhm.
example. So it's literally like a content strategist.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so worth it. Like you're
I will
saying.
definitely try that. Now, I definitely wanna get into the way you do, I call them hand raising posts.
Mm,
And hand raising posts for me on Facebook, kind of look like a colored background. And hey, I'm doing a training next week on X. Want to come? And then, people comment. I send them the link to register for the training. But you have taken that idea of a hand raising post to the next level on LinkedIn, and explain a little bit about how that came to you and the strategy behind it.
yeah, I think you raise a really good point here because lots of people will, post and say, I'm running this workshop, please sign up. And it just screams desperation
Yeah.
versus if you strategically weave it into your content, just by focusing, because I've always focused on top of the funnel content. That's been my like my bread and butter, just to scale my audience and
Mhm.
to have a wider net to cast ultimately when it comes to offering services. And I think ultimately you really don't want to feel like you're selling to someone. You want to give so much value
Yeah.
that when you do come to making an ask, people are like, of course, I love Charlie's content and he provides so much value. I'm going to sign up. I'm going to comment in exchange for something. And there's so many different ways you could go about it, even if it's like a highly valuable lead magnet, or it's I've got this mega prompt. If you want it, just comment and I'll
Mhm.
give you it. And just by generally asking questions and building relationships, people will they'll recognize you and then want to come and be interested in your services when the time does
Yeah.
come.
Well, I love that it's leading with value. I
Always.
like to think that that's my motivator, having a bigger impact, more value to people. But the scope of how you're doing it, there was one post I saw that had, well over 500 comments of people raising their hand.
Mm.
How do you deal with that volume of people?
Yeah, honestly, it's so tough sometimes. I mean, people like to send DMs to
Mhm.
give someone the link or the resource they're offering, but
Yeah.
in my case, I prefer to just reply to them in the comments.
Mhm.
I find that's way easier. One, because then I don't have to connect with people on LinkedIn. Two, I can just like post a link and it's just very simple. And I just try to do that as much as possible. Like even yesterday, I had a giveaway post of sorts, and I was there like after eating dinner, just like kind of going through and replying to people.
Yes.
So I really try to kind of like batch them throughout the day rather than just like leaving it to feel overwhelming and doing it all
Mhm.
at once. Because it's not
And
fun.
you've done a couple different things where, you will drop a link to subscribe to something.
Mm,
You've dropped a link to a Google Doc
mm,
sometimes.
mm.
The graphics, that you share in your carousels, so well done. I've actually taken one of your carousels, downloaded it,
Mm.
put it into Chat GPT, and said, "Expand on this and tell me about this." And
Wow.
it was phenomenal. So, the amount of value that you can extract from your content in this sea of content that we all experience
Mm.
is really the example. I think I've sent about 15 people to your profile and said,
Wow.
"See how he does it? Don't do anything less than that when you're asking for a DM or you're asking for someone's email. It's really gotta be stand out, top-notch quality." Who did you learn that from? Like, where did that
Mm.
come from for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think I've always been studying what works on LinkedIn.
Mm,
Like, really strong creators who came before me, like Lara Costa, Yasmin Alec,
mhm,
Ruben as well. Like, they're all really, kind of inspirations or have been to me.
mhm.
Now I'm kind of like doing my own thing, and I feel like I found my groove. But it's just being like so observant and just watching everybody else, and I'm just like, okay, this is what's working on LinkedIn. This is how. Even sometimes I'll go to a creator's comment thread. I'm like, what is their commenting strategy? Like, how are they approaching this? And just
Yeah,
being so stalkerish sometimes. um, so yeah, definitely those people. They've been big
mhm.
inspirations.
Yeah, same. And I remember when I found Justin Walsh, and
He's a good
I
one.
I said, "He understands this at a whole 'nother level." And now I'm in his private community that he created
Mm,
on Substack, by the
mm,
way.
mhm,
And again, it's the idea of attracting people to your ecosystem and being of such value that they want more? And what does more look like from you? What's that next step in working with you?
So for sure, obviously, like LinkedIn's my landing page. Like that's where I
Mhm,
share all of my top of the funnel content.
mhm,
Then ultimately, my aim is to drive people to my profile, which they then will either become a newsletter subscriber, hopefully, because I have a lead magnet on there.
mhm.
And then I also have my agency business, which I've been running for over a year now. Basically, helping founders, CEOs to scale on LinkedIn, because I've had many conversations with them, and barely anybody has time for one, to create content, two,
Yeah.
to like think about commenting on LinkedIn. They're like, what? I have to spend like an hour a day doing this. It's
Mhm,
ridiculous. So that's kind of like where I help. And plus, I've also had a recent bootcamp launch, like a private community, which has been really fun. Helping folks just kind of get to grips with, how do I write a hook? How do I
mhm.
design content? So it's been really nice. I just kind of do that, done for you, done with you, and also got a DIY solution coming out soon. So yeah, I
Nice.
like to have those three separate layers, because not
Mhm.
everybody can afford a high ticket offer, whereas some people can afford the mid ticket one, and then soon to be the low ticket offer, which will be a SaaS.
I like that because in my mind, I never had a lower ticket offer until this past January. I created a kind of container that's $97 a month.
Mm,
And instead of having a more beginner business group coaching offer, I
mm,
rolled it all into a community.
mm,
And the idea of entrepreneurs supporting each other, I think is so, so important, especially at the, under $500,000 a year, under $1 million a year. You need that network of people. You need introductions and referrals, and this idea of somebody noticing me and then saying, "Oh, you need to go look at what Suzanne is saying or what Charlie is saying." I don't take that for granted, and I know you don't either. What was the I don't want to say scary, but what was the most intimidating piece for you in this massive amount of growth you've had in such
mm.
a short time?
Oh goodness. It was definitely in the early days. It was kind of like figuring out like operations and like how the business was running, because I literally like fell into my agency business right out of the 9 to 5. I didn't have
Mhm,
like any runway or plan. Ultimately, I was kind of just like learning client by client what to
mhm,
do, and that was quite tough at a point. I scaled to around 7 clients in April of
mhm.
this year, and I was about to burn out. Like I
Yeah,
was literally on the edge. I was creating content for myself every day. I was doing stuff for clients every day, and it was too much. So I then kind of like closed everything down. And in the last 3 months, I've partnered up with somebody. We've got like everything squeaky clean now, and a
nice.
lot of learnings from the previous model. And basically now we're just like, it's so nice. I just focus on what I'm good at, which is my brand, marketing for the business,
Mm,
and just keep doing what I'm doing, just grow my audience. So then, we can generate new business, and yeah, kind of we all just focus on what we're good at, which is quite nice. So that's been the hard bit, managing the business with kind of just growing my following, because the two don't always align. People
yeah.
with 2,000 followers might generate millions a year, all because they have like a very smart business model and
Mhm.
tactical sales. Whereas for me, it was kind of the other way around. I kind of had to figure it out, yeah, as I went along. So that was the hard part.
Yeah, I see that, not only in myself. I just invested in someone to help me
Mm,
automate some things. Now I know how to do
mm,
automations. I know my funnel software like the back of my hand,
mm.
but I wasn't doing it. And for me, realizing that I wasn't a details centered person, big picture, visionary planner, strategy, great at that. But when it came down to the put my fingers on the keyboard and build myself a new funnel, wasn't happening, was not happening. And I think it was the realization that if I want to grow, I need to really invest in the systems, the operations, the SOPs, because you can't delegate anything, right? Unless you have it written down somewhere. It's got to be out of your head.
100%. Yeah, that's a hard lesson I learned. Especially when it comes to content, I'm a bit of a control freak. I want to
Yeah.
make sure it's like top tier, but then
Uh-huh.
having a clear process and kind of just letting things manage themselves sometimes is actually
Yeah.
the better solution in the long run.
I think so too. Well, let's get into other tools besides Stanley. I'm going to go rapid fire.
Okay.
What do you like for SOPs?
Oh, I mean, that's kind of hard. I'd probably just use ChatGPT, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, and voice to text, that works
Oh,
well.
love it. Yes. Okay. What do you like for carousels and presentations?
So quite a popular tool's Gamma,
Mhm.
but I personally just use Canva or
Okay.
Figma. I'm kind of old school in that
Oh,
regard.
okay.
Yeah.
So templates in Canva for your brand, so you stay consistent. I like that. All
Mm.
right. What do you absolutely like cannot live without as far as your business operations go day to day?
Oh, it's got to be Notion, 100%. I mean, that's kind of where the SAPs, etc., live, but
Mhm.
that's my content management system. I
Love it.
think without that, everything would fall apart.
I love it. So Notion dashboard, Notion
hmm
just released some cool AI things. Have
hmm
you been playing with that?
Well, yes, yeah, I posted about it today.
You
It's quite,
did?
yeah, it's quite
Okay.
crazy. It's their new agent. It can literally build databases from scratch, and there's like more personalization and like
Mhm.
MCP connectors now. So it's quite
Wow.
exciting. I'm deeply invested in that tool. I literally love it.
Uh, I love it. I have lots of things there.
Mm,
Could you give a tip on actually operationalizing and using it more? Like you said, you have
mm,
a content dashboard. That's where you manage your content.
mm.
How do you see using the AI feature now?
So for the AI side of things, I think the most powerful is definitely the connectors and like the MCP
Mhm.
servers that they're rolling out.
Mhm.
Because obviously I can now interact with Notion via ChatGPT or Claude, for example, which could be a massive
Yeah.
help. I think
Yeah.
if you're literally just starting out on Notion, you can use the AI to basically build out your CRM, your content management system,
Mhm.
whatever you want, just from simple text prompts. So
Mm.
for more advanced users, definitely the connectors, and then beginners is just building out the initial hard part, which is getting to grips with Notion, which I hear all the time.
Yes. Uh, Top person you would recommend to learn Notion from if somebody's a beginner?
Ooh, it's kind of hard. I don't really think many people talk enough about Notion, because I know it runs a lot of people's businesses,
Mhm.
but because I've probably only posted about it a few times, I think Notion themselves are actually really beneficial. They've got like a little community,
Mhm.
which they share all the tips and hacks in there. So definitely worth checking out if you want to get into Notion.
Okay. Um, Maybe we could talk you into some sort of Notion workshop in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's so simple to me, but then I realize other people just haven't spent enough time to get to grips with it yet.
Well, isn't that what it's all about, right? When
Mhm.
I think about, the massive amount of AI tools out there that we have to choose from,
Mm.
the trick is, finding the ones that work for you and then tuning out what you don't really need because it can become a big time suck for people trying something, seeing if it works for them. I'm a big fan of finding what works for your business and then really doubling down on that. And you've done that so, so well.
No, thank you so much. And there's so
Yeah.
many new AI tools that come out, and people are like, check this one out, it's great,
Uh-huh.
and you're just like, really? So
Yeah,
for sure.
there was one, I'm not gonna mention any names, that I had giant, hopes for, and it took me a couple weeks, and it made it to the top of my checkout
Mm,
list, and I spent about 20 minutes, and the output that I got was less than stellar, like, much less than stellar, and I really thought it was gonna be, like, the next thing for what I was trying to do, which was brand voice, offers, ideal client profiles,
mm,
and I've gotten such good results from custom GPTs in that area,
mm.
and I thought, "Why was I even looking for something better, easier?" When I don't really need to. So that was a really big message for me. If you're getting great results with something, it doesn't mean necessarily that the newest tool is going to be better than what you're using.
Yeah, 100%. I think sometimes you just need ChatGPT and a Google Doc, and
Yeah.
you can create a good business with that. So
Yes.
for sure.
Yes. Well, Charlie, thank you so much. Obviously, follow Charlie. He's got incredible content on his LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to share your Substack list, my Evelyn newsletter. I'm going to send you the most recent copy of hers. And I definitely want Evelyn to talk about what you do. And um, love to have my followers jump on your Substack and get even more value from you.
Yeah, 100%. That is a very underrated social media platform slash newsletter network.
Yes.
Substack is, yeah, so good. So definitely, I look forward to checking out Evelyn
All
and
right.
your
Thank you so
publications. So
thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Appreciate you and looking forward to checking out your post from today all about Notion.
Yes, yes, definitely do. No, thank you so
All
much for
right.
having me. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thanks again, Charlie. Appreciate you. And everyone, make sure follow up with Charlie and check out his posts and massive value. Love it. Thanks again, Charlie.
Thank you.
Bye.